a little. Hi everyone, welcome to another edition. I have not been on since week because of a lot of technical difficulties, but God be praised, we're on today. So welcome to another edition of CNJ Let Me Talk, and it's Thursday, and on Thursday I have the ever informative, ever vibrant, okay, the very handsome Scotty. So welcome to CNJ Let Me Talk, and it is CNJ and Scotty. So what are we talking about tonight? And as the name on the thumbnail on this video shows, is that we're looking on Michael Sharpe and his death. But we're not looking on it from what has been reported since Tuesday when he died, but we're looking on them blaming the nurses. The nurses in the news, they have been getting a lot of death threats. One nurse in particular has been getting a lot of death threats because she was the person who injected him. So tonight we'll be talking about that. What are your views? Remember, you can send in your opinion on our chat. So let us have our countdown and then we'll get right at it. Michael Sharpe, a prominent Jamaican journalist, and he worked with the RJR Group in a managerial position. He died on April 20th, 2021. That was last Tuesday of this week in the morning. He had taken the COVID vaccine some days before. Mr. Sharpe, in his own words, when he was taking the vaccine, said he's a heart patient. He had heart surgery in 2020, and he has been to the hospital on numerous occasions since then, not a lot for different treatment. It is reported that he was given the vaccine on March 14th, and he was admitted into the hospital on March 24th. And he died nearly a month later on April 20th. Michael Sharpe was 65 years old at the time of his death. It was reported on Wednesday of this week, that's yesterday, that the nurse that was featured in his vaccination clip that he uploaded to social media, that she has been getting threats, death threats, and she's been blamed for injecting him with the vaccine, and that the vaccine is the cause of his death. Now, we are here this evening to talk about how rational it is for individuals at this point in their bid to try and stop the whole vaccine process to be blaming a nurse or the nurses that were in the vicinity for Michael Sharpe's death. Before we even have our discussion, let us just say that in Jamaica, for the last report that we have in our Jamaican situation, and I'm looking on the reports from today, it says that to this date, a total active cases in Jamaica right now is 23,326, the active cases. It is said that the total deaths thus far is 738 persons in Jamaica have died from COVID-19, and that today they had 118 cases today and 11 deaths in total for just today. What we're saying is that COVID is active. It's active within our society. And I actually went online and did a little research on our numbers in Jamaica. And up to this point, they're saying that 44,000 337 persons in Jamaica from the time that COVID came to Jamaica have been infected. Some persons have recovered, as I said. The total recoveries thus far, 19,962. But of our population, 44,337 have actually been infected. Some have recovered, some are still in recovery, and others have died. Now, what I want to say to everyone is, of all the persons who have been vaccinated in our country, there is nothing that is saying that a large percentage of individuals have died, and there are persons who have died, but there's some of these cases they're still investigating to know if it is the vaccine that they would have gotten that would have contributed to their death, or if they died from for other reasons. All right. Now, I am wondering, and this is what we want to discuss today. Why is it that a set of individuals are blaming the nurse or the nurses? Wouldn't you say that the nurse is actually working in a job that she's being paid for, she or he is being paid for? They were ordered to do something based on their job, and they're carrying out that particular function. Why is it then that individuals are going to blame a particular nurse and send that nurse death threats? All right, and that is what we're looking at. What is it in the psyche in our country? Why that is where we're going to go. What they're saying right now is that they have to be thinking about giving that nurse protection because the threats are so bad. She's getting threats on her cell phone. So it means that somebody went and actually got the person's personal number and is actually sending death threats. Now, this is serious. As somebody who's in the education sector, where we deal with children every day, we have known of parents who would come to school and fight the teacher, cuss off the teacher, and all the teacher may have been doing would have been trying to get this child to learn. We're seeing nurses who are being threatened. Their life is being threatened by just merely doing their job. The government is offering a 2.5% increase to all public sector workers. Teachers are saying this is what the government can offer. We're in COVID times right now, but the nurses are looking on. The head of the Nurses Association today was saying the nurses are on the forefront of this fight, a COVID-19 fight. They are risking their lives every day through their jobs. And they're saying that the 2.5% is not cutting it for them. And a lot of nurses are now demotivated because of what is happening, where persons are threatening their lives. So, Scotty, what do you think about the whole thing?
It is very sad. It is very sad. There's a picture going around to say when Michael Sharpe and Doreen Samuel were on TVJ News, they're saying that I'm getting a feedback.
Let me mute my mic. Sorry.
All right, so there's an image going around where Michael Sharpe and Doreen Samuel, who used to work together on Primetime News, and person are saying that from ever since they stopped watching TV news once Michael Sharpe and Doreen Samuel came off. So I'm just saying that to allude that some persons are actually in love because I think that it's somebody they know personally. Sometimes like us on this now, if we get so popular, Miss Johnson, people think that, oh, she normally come out this time, she's so lovely and things like that. So we have fans. And it's very sad that even in having fans, sometimes our fans have a problem. Sometimes they have a mental problem and they become obsessed with persons. And let us not rule out obsession in this case. I'm not saying I don't know the facts, but I'm saying that somebody could be a fan of Michael Sharpe. Because Michael Sharpe, many persons might not know, he's a part of the Gleaner Communication Group. But I think he's the head of JNN, which is a company under the RGR Group. So persons have been following for years. I was one of his biggest fans for Your Issues Live. When he came to Abbeville many times, he talked about the issues that were affecting Aberville and things like that. Is somebody who went out of the studio and went into communities to find solution to problems. So he is somebody who is well liked and well cared for, but it does not give anybody the right to threaten the life of somebody who was trying their best to make sure that he was protected from this COVID virus. The case is still open. We're not sure what killed him. If it is just like what you said, he was in and out of hospital with a heart issue. It is alleged. It is alleged. I don't know. No, I don't have any proof that he also had some form of cancer. So with things like that, he knew in himself. He knew by taking the COVID vaccine because it's that issue. Even at home, I taught my parents about it. Are you going to take the vaccine? I said yes. I said, you know that it affects some person with blood clotting and so forth. Then say, if I don't take it, COVID will kill me. If I take it, I might die. I will take that on myself. I'll take the responsibility on myself. So it is a discussion and an argument. It's something that is new, and sometimes somebody can die. A doctor was talking to me, and he said to me that if somebody should take the vaccine and they should walk and buck the toe, is it the vaccine that caused them to buck the toe? So we have to look at. We cannot look at. We can't look at especially persons in a profession like us, or who should be able to think critically. We cannot be emotional and jump to a conclusion without first looking at logic, looking at reason to say what can cause it. I'm not ruling out the vaccine. I don't know. Don't I'm not ruling out the vaccine, but there are other different factors. He was not a healthy person per se. Unfortunately, he was not a healthy person, and therefore by taking if he did not get the vaccine, and he should have and he would have died from not taking the vaccine, the nurse would still be attacked. The nurse would, because they're saying why is that the nurse did not give him the vaccine. Now he got the vaccine and he sadly passed away. The nurse is being blamed, but it is just an indication of our Jamaican culture. It is just an indication of our Jamaican culture. That means that somebody has to be blamed. Somebody has to be blamed for loss. Sometimes it is, I believe, sometimes it is grief, and it is by threatening someone, it is illegal and it is wrong. But is it because of hurt? The person feel hurt, and when somebody is hurt, sometimes Miss Johnson, they try to put the blame on somebody else. They try to come to terms with it, and they find somebody. There are some persons a part of grieving. They will find something or someone to blame, or to hold accountable for it. And unfortunately, it is the nurse in this case. It is something that we should look at very seriously, though, because if the lady has her personal number and the person targeting her got that number, how is that possible? That somebody working in a government agency, somebody who's working under condition of confidentiality and things like that, how is that someone should get her number? Is it someone in the hospital? Is it somebody? Is it that she has an enemy before, but now that enemy has something to attack her with? It is just a big investigation. No, and all we can do is ask questions. But I believe that with our Jamaican police being finding the body of the teacher, solving problems, I believe that very very soon finding man on the bed that the parents of Jamaica. Very very soon, I'm hopeful that very very soon we will find the person who is doing something like this, not only to that particular nurse, but to the nurses and to the Jamaican people overall. Because we have to understand that the nurses at this time, their jobs are very, very important, even more now than ever. And every country would love to have the nurses which we have. Nurses taking taxi to go to work. Nurses getting up in the night to go back to work. Nurses doing double shifts and things like that. The doctors are very important, but without the nurses assisting the doctors, our healthcare would be worse than how it is now. And we see how people going around with persons on the ground and things like that. So imagine if our nurses at this time should withdraw the service to protest about against this verbal abuse. What will happen to us? We cannot use a debt. We cannot use a debt and be emotional and start to incriminate ourselves by threatening the lives of persons. And I heard say that the nurses' lives are in danger because they are on the front line. There's a parent who I spoke to, who's a nurse, and not only their lives are on the front line, but the lives of their loved one. Because after work, they're going home. After work, they're going home. And if God forbid they should contact the virus, they're going home to give it to their loved ones. So they're not only making sacrifices for themselves, but their entire household in which they are going back from. So I hope that during this period, where we are tried. And you know what I love about this virus? I always say this. What I love about this virus is that it is not social economic. It does not cater for your status. It does not cater if you're a doctor this or honorable prime minister or whatever. It lick, to make a term, it lick anybody who is not protected, who is not following the protocol. Can you believe it, Miss Johnson? If the virus was just attacking poor people and the uptown people were not affected, don't think about it. Think about it. It is not only us that we should be fearful of the virus attacking. It is the persons who are around us. So this is teaching us at this time to look out for others. I protect you, you protect me. You wear your mask, I wear my mask. Not because I don't have on my mask means that you are okay. One sneeze, one big sneeze, and you can contact the virus. So I just find that out to say that at Jamaica at this time where we are being affected with different depression. Persons not able to go out. Persons losing their work and things. It does not give us the right to play the blame game and be political with this virus. We should look out for each other, help each other, and more than ever, we should look out for our frontline workers.
I love that. Thank you for your commentary, Scotty. Because remember, these nurses, they're working for a living. They were given a task to do. We should be praying for them, helping them. We should be creating safe environments for them. So just to say to anybody who may be listening at this time, who may be saying it's the vaccine that killed Mr. Sharpe, we are not in this conversation talking about what may have killed him. What we're talking about is, where are you placing blame? It cannot be on our nurses. It cannot be. Let us go to a higher authority. Is it that did we choose the correct? And I'm speaking from the side of somebody who has taken the vaccine. All right. I'm speaking from that. I made a decision to actually take it, and I am saying at this time, why are you laughing?
Oh, because you're not hearing me. You are saying that you're speaking from someone who took the vaccine, and I'm joking saying that I am speaking from someone who has not yet taken the vaccine. So we are new.
Looking at both sides of the table. Both sides of the table. I have taken the vaccine. He has not taken the vaccine. But both of us are saying some persons have not taken it because they want to see it being tested on others for a longer period. Some persons are saying, I am not going to put, I prefer to take it and let myself and face the consequences than not to take it at all. It's what is happening right now. There's a shortage worldwide, and any vaccine that comes into the country will be the second dose for the persons who have already taken it. So some people are saying it's gene therapy and all sorts of things. I made a decision to take it, and that was a personal decision. Michael Sharpe made a personal decision to take the vaccine. if he took a personal decision and nobody forced him to go and sit there, and he would have made that decision based on advice from his doctors and his family members and all of that, and he made that decision to go and sit. So let us not blame our nurses. Let us applaud the nurses of Jamaica who have been going out and making a change. All right. This is CNJ and Scotty. I would just want to thank you for being with us this evening. Let us not blame our nurses.
Hold on, before you leave, though, we missed a very critical point of it. And I want to hear your not too long, but the vaccine. Mute your microphone, Miss Johnson. I'm hearing myself. Mute your microphone, please. All right. So I'm saying that we missed a very critical point of discussion. Remember that the vaccine very recently, it was getting near to the expiry date. So the Prime Minister opened the gap and allowed some members of the public to get the vaccine. So I'm saying to you, do you believe that, like how this case in which Michael Sharpe got the vaccine, and after the vaccine, not I don't want to say after, immediately after, just after taking the vaccine, couple days or weeks after he passed away. Are we now going to, if there's going to be an increase in the death? I'm not hearing you. Your microphone. Your microphone is muted.
He died over a month after taking the vaccine. Because he got the vaccine on the 14th of March and he died the 20th of April.
So are we saying now if other members should pass away now, given the deadline of the vaccine and they got it after the deadline, are we going to blame the vaccine that is one? Are we going to blame the vaccine now for that? And why is it? I don't know if you can answer this one. One of my concerns is that if you take that vaccine and something should happen to you, the company is not liable for it because you have to sign a no claim policy on it. So I believe that taking the vaccine should be a personal, it should not be mandatory. Seeing that if something should happen to you, you can lose your life, you can be injured or something like that because it's a risk. You don't know how it will affect you. You're looking lovely, looking good, taking the vaccine. I don't know if after I take my vaccine, I will lean up or things like that. So I believe it should be a personal choice. And I believe that what the government can do, Ms. Johnson, can inform us more about the pros and the cons, educate the public more, because it is out of ignorance why sometimes death threats and violence happen out of ignorance. I just want to share that before we close out.
Yeah. In our Jamaican situation, the vaccine is not mandatory. It's a choice right now for individuals. The government has been putting out calls for persons to take it when it was available. But remember, for Mr. Sharpe, he was not in the section where it was becoming stale. Remember, he took his from in March, so he was long before. All right. But it's a personal choice. And for the persons who I think they said 135,000 persons in Jamaica have gotten the vaccine. Those individuals made a choice based on the news that they were seeing out there. All right. As I said, I'm one of the 135,000 that took the vaccine. So in anything that is new, there will be a lot of uncertainty. There will be limited information. And that is how it is right now. There's limited information, but millions of persons across the world have taken this vaccine. What I know from my research before I took it, it is not 100% safe, but it is offering me over 90% protection. And what it's offering me is that if I contract the disease, I am 90-something% safe. To me, that is better than no percentage at all. All right. And I did not have, besides, I always say to people, my underlying condition is that I am fat. All right. So that is my underlying condition. So I always say, I'm going to take my chance. Watch his face. I'm going to take my chance and actually take the vaccine. You're muted. I'm going to take my chance and actually take the vaccine and then hope and pray that my body is able to go through whatever symptom it might pose. And lucky for me, it went through and I had no issues, and that I won't be changing and doing anything funny in the future, and that it works out well for me. And that is based on the research that I saw. So I am not going to
So with
blame
my
any nurse for anything that may happen to me, because that would be
so
not very rational.
with my fat in front of me, with my this would be my underlying illness. Oh, no,
I am not saying that. I always say that when you are that is my underlying condition, and I'm not saying it's a documented one. It's a
okay,
documented one. Is that
okay.
we all need to be as healthy as possible, and within this time, for those of us who may not be at our healthiest self, like me, trying to eat a balanced diet, trying to eat more fruits and vegetables, trying to exercise more, because in this day and age, we cannot be just sitting and watching the television anymore. We have to actively be trying to be healthier. All right, especially when we have a virus such as this. It's one that affects the lungs, so we have to ensure that we are ensuring that we are protecting ourselves as much as possible. So if you are somebody who decides not to take the vaccine, there should be other things that you're doing to stay healthy. It can't just be that you're drinking ginger tea and turmeric alone. You need to also be working the body, exercising the body to ensure that the body is able to withstand whatever it is that actually comes upon it. And to add to all of that, I'm saying for me, the vaccine is what I took. And you can't blame anybody for their decision. What we have a problem with is that you have made your decision and somebody else has made their decision, and you ridicule the person for the decision that they have made. We cannot ridicule persons for decisions that they have made. It's a personal choice, as you said. We don't know in the future if they're going to have laws that makes it mandatory for you to take this vaccine. And it looks in some countries that's the way that they are going. But in Jamaica right now, it's a choice that is being given to individuals. What I'm saying, we are not talking about people's individual choice this evening. What we're saying is this: we cannot blame the nurses. We cannot blame a nurse who would have been instructed to give Michael Sharpe the injection. We can't do that. All we can do is speculate as to what, because the authorities have to come out and say this is what caused it, and some people are saying they will never know for sure. But not because you will never know for sure mean you're going to blame a nurse that was doing her job and giving this person this vaccine. And this is somebody who their entire career they would have been doing their job to the best of their ability, and now they may lose their lives because maybe irrational individuals are blaming them for a man that they loved and respected death. Remember, we don't know the cause at this time. And I love what
Mr.
you said.
Johnson, just
I love what you said when you said the doctor said to you, if you took the COVID vaccine today and you went outside and you had a car accident or you broke your toe and you died, are they going to say that it's the COVID vaccine that killed you? Isn't it the car accident? Or isn't it that you fall down and hit your head? What is it that would have caused your death? Not because you took the vaccine today and you die tomorrow, meaning it was the vaccine that actually may have caused your death. It may have played a part, but what are the other things that happened? What was your body like? What illness did you have before? All of these things have to be investigated, and we need to stop irrationally making decisions and blaming persons that should not be blamed for things that happen. Yes, Scotty.
no, I was saying that last week now, to wrap up, Miss Johnson, last week, I asked the question, what is a kitchen bitch? Kitchen bitch? I don't know why the word stuck. That word stuck at that time. Sorry about that. So, what is a kitchen bitch? And I went ahead and I know that I was aware of one term. I was aware of one term, and kitchen bitch is actually a portable personal lamp that the person is used to use in the kitchen in the old time days, right? But when I went and did my research, also I heard that someone who does mediocre jobs in our restaurants are also called that, kitchen bitch. So it's a slang as well. Yes, man, I discovered that. I online. I went online. It's a slang, inappropriate slang where somebody who don't really value much working in a restaurant. Sometimes they label them as kitchen bitch, right? Um, the next for next week now. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. But for next week, I want to ask in Jamaican term when somebody say call you a kwashi. Is it a positive term, a negative term, and who is a kwashi? That's my question for next week. Over to you, Miss Johnson. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm going to ask you when the live is finished for you to just type that in the comments so that people can start answering. So, because remember, these comments are not saved when we are finished with the live. All right. So,
Okay.
when somebody calls you a kwashi, is it a positive term or a derogatory term? All right. Which one is it? Which
And
one
what
is
does
it?
it
But I'm going to leave you all this evening and say, remember, the nurses are working for a living. Let us pray for our nurses. Let us wish them well, and let us not threaten their lives. They're doing their job to the service of their country. Many are leaving us. Let us not push more. Let us not help to demotivate them anymore. And we thank the nurses of Jamaica. CNJ and Scotty, we thank you for your service and all that you have been doing in Jamaica right now. Have a good day and see you all next week for more of Thursdays with CNJ and Scotty. See you tomorrow, Friday, for CNJ Let We Talk. Thank you guys for being with us. Bye bye.